Right, good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Lillycrop, Head of Professional Services at ITSMF UK. Welcome to this SM Forum on Health and Wellbeing at Work. Our expert speakers today will share their unique experiences on topics such as recognizing and recovering from burnout, understanding the impact of menopause on mental health, and learning quick and effective techniques to manage stress. Increasingly, we're incorporating events into our program that look at the practical concerns around ourselves and the people we work with every day, and this promises to be a really interesting discussion. I think it's important that we do feel free and inspired to talk about some of these topics, which I think would have been swept under the carpet only a few years ago. We'll start in a few moments with Milla Kuosmanen from our Finland chapter, who'll be sharing her very personal story about burnout and recovery, recognizing the warning signs in yourself and others, and inspiring you with ideas on how to prevent it. Then we'll hear from Helen Morris from the Aware Mind, talking about why menopause has a major impact on women's health in the workplace, and why this is not just a women's problem, it affects us all. After a short break at about 11:10, we'll move on to Sarah Morgan, who'll be talking about ADHD and neurodiversity, which brings its own strengths and challenges to the workplace. And we round off with Hannah Holden, talking about a topic that affects us all, stress, and she'll be teaching us some quick hacks that use the body to calm the mind in an instant. Now, this event is designed to be interactive, and we encourage delegates to share their thoughts and insights. We've left time at the end for a Q&A and discussion, but you can also post your thoughts and questions in the chat. We'll be keeping an eye on any emerging themes or queries, and we'll cover them as we go. And we aim to conclude by around 1 p.m. The session is being recorded, and as with so many of our events, the slides and videos will be shared with other members in the event recordings area of our website. So that's enough from me. I'll hand over to Milla to kick us off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. So I will first start sharing my screen. Yep. Yeah, so my name is Milla, and as Mark mentioned, I'm from Finland. And I have to say apologies for my language because it's not perfect. I'm talking like said ralli English in Finnish. And also I would like to thank ITSMF UK to giving me this opportunity to share my own story and also raising this really important topic, the well-being at work, because in recent years it hasn't been so much discussed. And because this is my personal story, first some background of me. So I'm living quite active life. So love to go outdoors, walking, and also paddling at summertime. And then I like to go to gym, and also love to do puzzles at home. So it's one of my way to relax. That if I'm in a meeting where I don't need to share anything or I don't need to lead the meeting, I might be listening and then doing puzzles, and it helps me to concentrate on the content. I have 4 children, and the older ones have already left the building, so to say, so moved out, and the 2 younger ones are half of the time with me and half of the time with their father. And I also have 2 cats who are kind of requiring actions from me. So I'm the servant for 2 cats. And I started new role in the beginning of January. So I started in a new company, Tosibox, and my new role is Chief Officer of Services. I spread my presentation to 3 parts, and I think this is overall timeline when I was started to plan this presentation, and I started to look back at what had happened and when did it all actually started. I realized that this has been quite a long process. So for me, the path to burnout started already 2017, and then I feel that I was healed 2022. So it's like not so quick process. So I have this first part is about how did I get there? So what happened and what caused the burnout? And there is 2 crashes, 2 giving up. So, but I'm mentioning more about them in the coming slides. And then the healing process. What did I do to kind of recover from the burnout? And also lessons learned, what I need to remember also every day and for life forward, so to say. So let's start with the how did I get there? If I think my life back in 2017, it was like rush years of life. So I had 4 children. 2 of them were teenagers, and 2 were about to start the school. And it was the time that I didn't anymore have so small children. So I had a bit more time for myself and also time to think that what I want from life. And that was also something that I started questioning my marriage, that is it something what I am kind of happy in, or is it something that I want something else from my life?
Excuse
So
me,
there,
excuse me,
sorry.
Milla. I'm
Yep.
sure to interrupt. I'm really sorry, but we are actually in the process of identifying whether the slides are changing or not, because we only see the first one.
Okay. So if I put in this mode, is it better?
Yes, yeah, I think so. But
Yes,
you could use the
that's
slide
better. Yeah.
mode also, because we can see the whole screen.
And in presentation mode. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
presentation mode.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was in presentation mode. Can
Yeah.
you see now
You're
the?
on the timeline slide now. Yeah. Does everyone see the timeline slide?
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
doesn't change if I'm in a presentation mode. So I need to then show it as a
Okay.
smaller one, because I changed the slide and you didn't see the change. But now you see the
Okay,
timeline.
thank you.
Yes, thank
Now,
you.
yeah, now we see the timeline.
Yes, and thank you for saying so. It's so much easier to follow. Yeah, okay. So about how did I get there? Yeah. Yes, the life was quite busy at home, and also I started new job in 2017, and then the next year I was asked to take the bigger role in a company and to be the director of the services and also part of the leadership team of the company, and it was something that I didn't even think that I would try to pursue to director role. But then I was thinking that okay, it's something that it might be never offered after that. So I wanted to try it, and it was like something that I was asked for it. I was thinking by myself that am I good enough and am I really suitable for this role? But I didn't discuss that with, for example, with HR or anybody else. So I kept it for myself. Maybe in the personal life and with the closest people, but not at work. I didn't ask for any help or support for that. And then also the challenges with personal life continued. Some challenges with children and some challenges with the marriage. And then 2019, I was in a situation at work that I was responsible for certain business area, and I was also a project manager for 2 large IDM projects. And then it was like a lot of work for me. I had also the team and everything related to the business responsibility, and I felt that it was like not suitable combination to be project manager for large projects with some finance issues, and then also being responsible for the whole business for that area. So it was like kind of it was growing the hard work and hard time. And then we sold our house and moved to another apartment, and also decided that okay, we need to get divorced. It's not working. We didn't get it work. And then it was 2020, and COVID started, and we got divorced. So we need to arrange the lives separately and also handle the children and everything. And children were left home, and the responsibility for the education was given to the parents. So it was like I needed to handle my own work on daily basis, and also I was responsible for educating the children. And it was a bit difficult to kind of lower the expectations for educating the children. They didn't have so much electronical, meetings or things like that, and they were quite small still. So I had to do quite a lot of work with them. And we had also some hard times at work. So there were personal negotiations, and I needed to fire a few people, and it wasn't easy decision and easy task for me. And then my brother died on May in 2020, and that was like, the last thing on the package. And I thought that now I can't continue anymore like this. And I left for sick leave, and I was at sick leave the whole summer, so 2.5 months. And during the summertime, we discussed with my supervisor about my role, and I was asking if it could be a bit less stressful and less responsible and we agreed a new role. And in autumn, I came back to work to the new role, and it was like the autumn was like hanging there again, just not feeling really energetic, but trying to cope with all the tasks. And then it was during Christmas and New Year, I had a couple of weeks vacation, and when it was time to go back to work, I realized that I'm totally tired again. So I needed to, say, I can't come back now. And it was then, I think, really my healing started, because in the summertime, I wasn't yet ready to give up my role in the certain level of the organization. But during the new year and realizing that I really can't be responsible for organization and people in the organization, I asked that if I could go back to the consultation, what I did before the leadership role. So it was then agreed that yes, I will take the different role and get it more light at work. Yeah, so then I think really the healing process started for me. I had already done some things after the first sick leave, but still I was afraid that, everyone would see that I have failed in my work, and I couldn't handle the role what I was given and everything. But then when I decided that okay, it's something that I can't handle, and what it matters what others think, that and I really need to give up that. Then about the healing, because during the springtime, when things got piled up more and more, I suffered bad sleep, and it was like waking up during nighttime and so on. So I was really tired, and my memory was getting bad. So I decided that I want to aim for well-being, the mental and physical well-being, and the sleep is the priority number one. So I started to think and try different things that would improve my sleep. I didn't want to use any medication for that, so I wanted to find out that how I should live to be able to sleep better. And also, for example, I left alcohol, and I realized that if I eat something sugar after 6 o'clock in the evening, it affects my sleep. So I also quit eating any sugar thing in the evening time. And I started to walk, and also try to walk that kind that I really look around and feel the nature, and it's something like not just walk and calculate the steps and how much calories I have burned, but try to enjoy and experience the walks. And then one thing what was really difficult, but I think was really important part, was that I really forced myself to be more relaxed at work. So I approved and accepted that I don't need to be efficient 8 hours a day, because I couldn't. And for example, for the first half year, I couldn't keep awake a whole day. So it was like in the afternoons, I needed to have a nap. Otherwise, I just couldn't continue work. And it was something that I kind of accepted it and allowed to myself that, oh, it's okay to do that. And if you think about the enablers for my healing, I think the most important was that I really gave up and asked for help. And I was in that point that nothing mattered, but I needed to do everything to get back to on my feet. And also, I used to be this kind of person that everything needs to be handled quickly, efficiently, preferable yesterday. And then I learned to accept that some things take time. For example, if you think about the timeline, it takes years sometimes. And also, I think my healing was quite long but I don't know how it's in different cases, but yeah, and then also this is something that I have taken also to other parts of life. And for example, at work, I understood that if you are in a leadership position, things take time, because when I was in different role, for example, project manager, or handling some smaller issues, then I was able to fix them more quickly. And when you have bigger role, also the improvement takes more time. So it's kind of considering everything, my personal life and also things at work. And then really important enabler was also the support from the employer. So when I was leaving on sick leave first time, my supervisor said that now just take care of yourself. We can handle the work, and come back when you're ready. So it was like well said, and that kind of also helped me to give myself the permission to take some time off. And then when I came back to work after the second sick leave, it was also something that my supervisor didn't expect kind of anything of me. So he let me heal in peace, and said many times that no rush, and do what you can, and how are you feeling, and that kind of thing. So it was really, really important to get the support from the employer. And then a few words about lessons learned, what I hope I remember from that point onwards. I realized and learned, and this is also, I think all the lessons learned is something that I need to remind myself of these, because one thing is that it's me who builds the expectations and builds the pressure on me. So I kind of think, or kind of, I have the assumption that what is expected on me, and then I try to reach it, and preferably go farther than just reach the goals. And that's something that I had to learn, that it's about me and not the others. And also it's good to ask for help. And this is also something what I have kind of utilized in every parts of life, that, for example, it can be some small ask or bigger ask, but still, if I need help or guidance or anything, so it's so much easier to me for me to ask nowadays than, for example, 6 years back. And then I know that if I give more than I can give, what I have to give, no one will thank me for it. So it's only affecting, in the end of the day, it's only affecting me and my close ones. So because companies need to go forward, and if someone is falling, they just, they can't wait for the ones. So it's like, I am the most important for me and my close ones. And also one thing what has helped me is to concentrate on what I can give, instead of what others are expecting from me. For example, I have done some presentations, and for example, today, it's like I try to concentrate on what I can give, and then some might get something from my presentation and others not, but it's okay. So it's like, I don't know what is good or what is valuable for somebody else. And then few things for a reminder. First of all, about the picture. I think this is really good example of you don't need to be perfect. So it's like that was, it was my daughter's, I think it was 5th or 6th year's birthday, and she wrote happy birthday, and it was like how she thought it would be. But you can understand, kind of the target is reached, and it's not perfect, but it's really nicely done, so to say. Yeah, and also I think also in a previous slide I was talking about this, that I am responsible for me and my well-being. It's something that I can't outsource to anyone else or expect somebody else to take care of me. And one of my favorite sayings is this: I am a grown adult and I have a passport. So I think that says it all. So I can decide by myself. I have the kind of responsibility, but I also have all the freedom. Of course, in certain limits, but it's like I need to kind of empower myself to do things what I want, and also keep the limits for myself. And of course, for example, employer or the close people can help me and say if they are worried, but still I'm the one who is responsible and who really can make a change. And also, I was considering about sharing my story because it's like it's a personal story, and it like shows that I'm vulnerable and I'm not this kind of I can't do everything, and I'm not just so strong and handling everything. So I had time for the consideration that do I want to speak speak my story in public or not, and but I think if this helps someone, or if someone wants to discuss with me later, and if I can help somebody else preventing to going that far, or then helping to recover from the burnout or some other difficult state, that's something that I think it's valuable, and it also have then done the part what it should be doing. So yeah, that was my presentation, and here is my contact information, so my email address and also the LinkedIn. So just send me a request if you want to